Okay, I'm going to show you a few of the bugs I found here on the Palm Pre. Um, I mean, none of them are like showstoppers where it's going to be you just can't absolutely use this thing. The only one I would consider kind of close to it might be the Pop 3 bug, but the frequency of that actually occurring for people and whatnot is so low, it's probably just some weird combination of actions you do and whatnot. That's really the only one I'm not going to physically show you here on the device. I had it happen to myself, of course, but I have to go through, set up my email account for POP3, and then it'll go through, download the messages, and you'll just get the exclamation mark saying it's not going to sync again. You can reset the device, whatever, just keeps doing it. You just can't get messages through. So that's going to be the only one I'm not going to show you, mostly because I'd have to show you my own personal emails for it to actually work, so we're not going to do that. Speaking of the email client, one of the bugs here is that it doesn't sync, I shouldn't say sync, it doesn't sync, doesn't display notifications for subfolders in IMAP. For example, on this sales account, basically it's just my catch-all for spam. Anytime I think we'll get spam, I use the sales account. If I was to go through and check the spam folder, which I know would probably be full of stuff, you saw there was nothing there listed. As you can see, it already started to do it before when I got in here, but I mean, look at all this nonsense that was in there, but you know, they're all new messages, but on the main screen it didn't show an actual count for it, and now you can just see it just popped up. It only displays notifications for the inbox, so if you have subfolders that you already have rules on your server or your email client to move emails somewhere else, you're not going to get notifications that you actually have these new emails until you check the folders. Pretty damn annoying. I have a tendency, you know, every time I close an application to touch my screen. It's kind of a habit I've gotten from using Windows. I just want to make sure that nothing is selected on my screen or anything, so every time I close out an application I go back to my desktop, so to say. This wouldn't really be a desktop, but you know, I tap the screen, make sure nothing's selected, so if I do any keyboard shortcuts, anything like that, I know exactly where I'm going to start out at on the desktop, not another application that might be running in the background. Well, it's a pretty bad issue with the, I shouldn't say pretty bad issue, it's a pretty annoying issue with the phone, because you go through, you close out your phone, you tap the screen again, and it comes back for a second and goes away. No matter how you cut this, it's a bug. If you go through, and this is supposed to allow you to kind of bring your phone back from being closed, you tap it, and I click the screen and try and hold it, it doesn't stay. If it's supposed to be a way of salvaging a call or something like that, it doesn't seem to work, because if I do it while on a call, it still closes out the application. So there's really no reason for the phone app to actually go away when you know, not go away, but come back when you tap the screen again after closing it. It's a bug. It just shouldn't do it. Either it's not supposed to do it, and it's a bug, or it's supposed to do it to save the app, and it's not doing it. So no matter how you cut that, that's a bug. An extension issue with the web browser. Basically, if you go through the web browser, try and browse to like .zip file or something like that, the browser just keep opening window after window after window after window non-stop until you either run out of memory or you're quick enough to close it out. I haven't been able to make it do this since the newest update, the 1.1 update, so maybe they've actually fixed it here. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, the random screen brightness changes. It's kind of hard to make it do it on command. Sometimes I can make it do it, sometimes I can't. But you gotta have it off your charger. And just simply like sitting here using it, I'll open up an application like Task. It's got a dark background. Okay. Let me get this pretty. There we go. Now, if you kind of sit here and wait a bit, the screen will kind of fluctuate a little bit. One way I've seen it makes it happen more is if I cover up the sensor here. The screen goes dark, and you see how I touched the screen, but it didn't pop up into a brighter shade until later. I just approve. See, it's not like the inactivity kicking in. Then the screen will like suddenly get brighter. It's like a delay in it. But the thing I've noticed is that it'll do that, kind of like what you saw there. I did that on purpose to show you kind of what it does. Even just sitting here, just using it without covering up the sensor or anything like that, it'll just change by itself the brightness. Like I said, that's hard to make that one do it on command as far as the actual random showing of it. But you know, you can always cover up the sensor and it'll make it go darker or brighter. But I've been sitting here, you know, just using my hand. Lighting isn't changing my room, and it'll just go darker or lighter for really no reason. Don't understand why it does that. And another small one here on web pages. If you go to something that's got a list in it, I'm trying to think of a site that would have it. I think Kingston. Let me type it in here. See, that kind of list box. There's really no way you can kind of scroll through it. I mean, you see this little gray line here. I mean, you can click it, and when you do it, now the page moves, you know. You can click in it. That was interesting. It just flipped upside down. I haven't had to do that before. You know, you can click in the box, and then you can hold down the orange key, and you can scroll that way. But if the web page has an on-click method, so if you click in it, it'll automatically take you to the page, or activate the page, so to say. It'll run the on-click code, which can usually navigate you away from the page. It drives you nuts. As you can see, I tapped on the screen again. That application didn't come back. It's just something with that phone app, like I was mentioning before. And another thing here I'm not going to bore you with, but when you put the phone on the touch stone, your screen will stay on. Sometimes it stays on, sometimes it doesn't. Haven't found the entire rhyme or reason to it, but it usually seems to be if I turn the phone on and I or have it on the touch stone and turn the phone on using the power button, it stays on. It will stay on the screen here non-stop. It won't go back to the actual screen like that, like it should, until you click the power button. Even sometimes if I go ahead and I take it off the touch stone and it's already on the main screen here, it'll do that. It'll still be here.